Doing work. All right, welcome back to another episode of 20 Questions. I'm your host, Brian Hochstetter with Hochstetter Homes. Today, I'm very happy to bring on a good friend, a buddy, a fellow Chad who just happens to be named Chad. It's one of those crazy things. But Mr. Chad Johnerson. Chad, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. It is a great day. How about yourself?
It is a great day. It is a great day. I got a little watering done on my yard. I know you are just bought a house and waiting for it to be finished built. You don't even know about what's going to happen where all of a sudden you feel this need to take care of your lawn. I don't know if you've experienced that yet, but it's something that happens when you get older, man. I don't know.
I grew up.
No, thank you. Thank you for coming on, man. What was that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. I said I grew up mowing lawns, so I know it well.
It's a different thing when all of a sudden you look across the street and you're like, "Wow, my neighbor's lawn looks a little bit better than mine." All right, I guess I need to water. I need to start looking at the fertilizer I use. What am I doing this? How's my nitrogen levels? Like it, yeah. Mm-hmm. So I don't wish that upon you. Well, Chad, I appreciate you coming on the show. As I joked before earlier, I put out the Ironman for you in your honor. We'll get into the why a little bit later, but how this goes, sir, is we do 20 questions. 10 of them are pretty straightforward, and then the other 10 are going to be random. You are going to be asked to give me 10 numbers, 1 through 137. And those numbers correlate to another question. Maybe serious, maybe goofy, simple as, phone call or text, or who's the most important person in your life kind of thing. We haven't had one of those yet. So you may be the first person to cry on 20. No, I'm joking. We're not going to make this like an Oprah. So with that being said, where we start is very simple. Tell us your name.
Yeah, my name's Chad Johnerson. And that's
Chad,
it.
where are you located and what do you do?
I am currently located in Denver, Colorado, actually living on the east side in Aurora. I actually am a full-time systems engineer, but I'm transitioning into real estate full-time here by the end of the year, hopefully.
Gotcha. That's where the Tony Stark picture goes for that full-time systems engineer. So you are transitioning into a realtor. Dare I say you got some pretty good momentum going into that. What areas do you service then for real estate? Let's focus on that.
Yeah, so areas specifically, kind of northern Denver metro area, all the way up into Boulder, as well as Longmont in some cases. It really kind of depends. I know when I move, I'm definitely going to switch up and start focusing more north, and a lot of these newer towns that are getting developed out up north of the city, because Denver's expanding, it's growing, it's definitely going to head up that way too. And I'm focusing on new builds primarily, so that's going to be right up my alley, especially for the next 5-10 years. So,
all right, excellent. Yeah, I used to travel out to the Denver. I had it as part of my territory, Colorado, and it's always very nice scenic drive. And then I'm a snowboarder, so I'm very envious of that. And you guys will be probably getting snow in another month or so, maybe up in the mountains.
Just got a dusting actually today.
I thought I saw the picture from, I think, Evan.
Yep. Snow is already here. Winter is coming.
All right. Well, with that being said, let's get into this, the 10 questions, as I explained how it's going to go. So we're going to jump right into it with question number 1 here. Chad, what do you feel passionate about?
Ultimately, it comes down to helping and connecting people to one another, and seeing how relationships can grow as a result of you, I think, either introducing people or becoming a part of someone's life. I honestly, I'm just super passionate about making connections happen and making meaningful connections happen.
Good answer. Yeah, it's all about who you connect with on this journey. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to do it alone. So with that, it kind of feeds this next question pretty good. What do you feel is your best quality as a individual, and a realtor?
Yeah, no, I think I've been told by some of my friends that I ask really tough questions about people because I don't like to get to know people at a surface level. I want to know what makes someone tick. I want to know what they're passionate about, what they're driven by, what's their purpose. I love helping people find what their purpose is by asking those tough questions and connecting on a deeper level.
Nice. Yeah. And that can definitely relate to the real estate business of really finding what you need, what they need. It's all about your client. So, this is pretty typical question, but what has been the best piece of advice you've ever received? More importantly, how have you applied it in your life?
Yeah, the best advice I would say I received is probably recently, which was that at the end of the day, you shouldn't care about what anyone thinks about you, and you should be proud of what you're doing and who you are first and foremost. Stop caring what other people are thinking about you or what they might say behind your back. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, are you going to look back on your life and be proud of what you've done? Probably not, if you're constantly focused on what other people are saying or thinking.
Sure.
So,
Good.
I mean, I've applied it recently in my life too, like just getting started with social media. I've never been a good social media person. I think I've grown to love being on camera too. And I've seen myself progress recently, right? My personal social media page, like if you were to look at and compare it to my realtor social media page, it is a stark contrast. It is very different.
Sure. The evolution is there. You can see it.
You can definitely see the evolution. And I mean, launching a YouTube channel, that's been really good for, confidence building and speaking as well. So.
Yeah, no, I can relate to that as well. I'm not a big social media fan and user as well. But no, that's really good advice, is not to worry about what other people think about you. My mama always told me not everyone's going to like you. Got to be okay with it. So, all right. Well, with using that advice, what would you say has been your greatest success, in your life to date? You're Iron Man in 9 to 5, and then you're Batman as a realtor in the 5 to 9. So what's been your greatest success in your life? And you've been on here for a minute, so I'm just curious.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, in my short 26 years, oh man, that is a very, very loaded question. I would say the most fulfilled I think I've ever felt, maybe not necessarily a massive success, but I mean, feeling fulfilled, I feel like is a huge part of success. I actually helped some clients of mine, the first clients I ever actually had, get out of a really, really awful situation in a mobile home park, and like getting them moved on to another better opportunity, and getting them out from under a situation that could have been, pretty detrimental to them, and they could have lost their home and ended up losing a bunch of money in the process instead of being able to sell it and move on. So that made me feel really good. I still stay in touch with them. They're a sweet older couple, and I'll still call them every once in a while and follow up and see how they're doing. So
nice. Good. Well, and again, it's one of those things that it's, as you said, it's a loaded question, but I do believe it's good to kind of look back and reflect on some of your success, because that's another log for your fire. To look back and be like, I have done this. I could do this again. I could do it. I could do more. So no, kudos to you. Well, here's a question that I got to clarify a little bit of what I'm hoping to get at. But what would you like to learn the most and why. And I'm not looking for necessarily in business. I'm looking for as an individual, something that you see others do, or just something that you would inspire to do. But again, time, money, all those things aside, or why you can't do it. You have all the resources in the world, all the time in the world. What is something that you would like to learn to do, and why?
Man. I mean, it's tough because I'm already in the process of learning another language. I've always wanted to learn another language, and it's been a huge goal of mine just because I want to be able to communicate with more people and build more relationships that way, more authentic ones, more natural ones, right?
What language are you practicing?
I'm currently learning Spanish.
Spanish, okay.
I'm about a month and a half into just like every single day I'm doing, 15 to 20 minutes of Spanish a day.
Oh, nice.
Just kind of slowly adding to it as I continue. But not only, language, there's so many things I want to learn, right? Like I obviously have an appreciation for education too. So
just pick one.
I don't know. I think
everyone's stumped with this question. It's like,
I know, because there's just so many great things you want to learn in life, right? You're a student of life. You never stop learning. And
correct.
I think I've realized that. So first things first, let's learn a language. Then we'll go from there. I'm gonna learn something else.
I was gonna say it's about making the decision and taking that first step. So all right, learn a language, nice. And why? Because you wanna be able to connect more.
Yeah,
correct.
Connect more on an authentic level with people.
Understand. All right, so then I think you're gonna have a good answer to this. What simple change could someone make in their life that would have the biggest positive impact? And I always put in here, simple does not mean easy. Those are two different things. Something can be very simple, but it could be hard to do. Doing a curl is simple, but with the right amount of weight, it's hard. So what is something simple? One little simple change that can make a big positive impact in someone's life.
Start today. Stop questioning, stop questioning yourself if you know enough. Just start today. Yeah, it might be hard. Yeah, you might
start what?
Yeah, start right. Start that business today. Start that new project that you always wanted to do today. Start the work that you've been meaning to do for like whatever it might be for work, right? Just do it. Start that action. Yes, it is hard at first, but once you start to build the momentum, it becomes easier and you can add more to it as you go. I think I've learned that in practice for my first 6 months in the business. You can have analysis paralysis till, you're blue in the face, but until you actually just start and attempt something and fail at something, you're never going to be able to progress anywhere.
Very true. Very true. No, and very good, simple advice. Mm-hmm. So other than your multiple careers, what's more important to you in your life?
I would say the relationships that I have in my life. I mean, they're the ones that got me to where I am today. Without them, without the people in my life, I mean, I don't even know if I would be here on Earth, right? Like there's a dark past behind all that, and I'm forever thankful and grateful for the people in my life that have helped me through some of the hardest times ever. And I mean, the relationships with everyone on our team has just been an amazing addition to some of the people that I've already personally known for a very long time. Family and friends are the most important thing.
Nice. I'm not going to make it like the Academy Awards where you have to name everyone and then you forget that one person and then they text you, why? I was there since day one. I just forgot. I was in the moment. Great. So if you could live these 26 years over, again, knowing what you do now, what would you change?
Man, I don't know if I would want to change anything, but if I could redo it, I would pursue. I'd pursue a career in golf. I think I could definitely would have done that because
well, you're halfway there. You're a realtor, so you're
exactly. I'm going to be playing so much golf anyway. Maybe who knows? Maybe in 10 years, you guys will see me on the tour. It could be a real possibility. I mean, that's the great thing about the time freedom that we're allotted as a result of being in such a great opportunity.
Well, and they do have the senior tour. And we were just in a conversation with a Mr. Mike Vanderjagt that mentioned he's going to out for the senior tour. So it's one of those things where my uncle as well was one that got his card for the senior tour later in life. And that's one thing that's nice about golf is you can probably set it later in life and still accomplish a lot. So, all right, yeah. We'll look for you out on the PGA, the links for sure.
30, baby.
So, yeah, exactly. There you go. So, question number 9. I really like this question because I'm seeing a theme for them. But what has been the worst piece of advice that you have ever gotten, and why?
Yeah, it's double-edged, right? Because your loved ones and your family, a lot of the times they tell you, they don't tell you necessarily straight up to settle, but in the way that they talk with you about your career choices or something like that. They want you to be comfortable. Never be comfortable. That's kind of my takeaway from it. I mean, I was comfortable for a couple of years, right? I mean, I still am in a very comfortable position. But don't settle.
Yeah. And to your point, it does usually come from the parentals or the loved ones, but it also comes from that place of love, and it's more about protection and safety, and no, it's very true answer there of don't settle and don't ever fully be comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I didn't really directly answer it, but it would probably be
you did.
The worst advice, play it safe. Don't ever.
I can extrapolate what you're saying there.
Don't play it safe.
So we kind of answered this question, I feel like, in the last couple answers, but where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years on the PGA Tour and slinging houses?
Yeah, I mean, if it's in the cards, I would love to be able to compete again at a competitive level. I mean, I'm a very competitive person growing up, but playing golf since I was 5. I would love to be able to play on tour, but I think realistically, where I see myself in 5 to 10 years is going to be more of a philanthropic position where I'm running a nonprofit as well in tandem with my business. I'm focusing on providing clean and safe drinking water for third world countries all over the world and helping to eliminate the amount of deaths that we have from that lack of water.
So is that that's something you just mentioned? Is that another passion of yours that?
Yeah,
the aspect I think of clean water,
charitable giving, and honestly, providing clean water to those that are less fortunate. Right, we can look at our country in so many different lenses and feel that we're not in a great situation in the United States. But then, if you take the focus off of what we have here and you look elsewhere, you start to look back at the United States and wow, we have it so good. And a lot of people don't see that. They don't realize that because they want to focus on a micro level. I'm turning my focus away from the United States. Some people might think that that's selfish, but honestly, if you don't improve standards of living for people all over the world, how are we going to be able to achieve all of these great things that people want to do, in the future years?
No, I well said. We need to touch base more on that. I might have someone who could help you. My neighbor growing up he's out in Colorado living the ski and bike life, mountain bike life.
Mm-hmm.
But he is, I don't know what the right term is, like a water geologist essentially. His degree is he finds water where there isn't water and to get it clean essentially.
That's awesome.
And it was one of those, 20 years down the road, this is going to be huge kind of thing. But he's in your neck of the woods, and he might be a kindred spirit in that as well, that whole aspect. So something that we definitely touch base with me on that when you start getting that going, and I can connect you with somebody that might be able to help you in your mission. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I mean, have to get him off the mountain, or in the summer he's riding. He does like 200-mile bike rides and everything else. So we just got to get him from there. But yeah, he's got a good heart and would be happy to help, I think.
That's awesome. No, and that's a big part of my business right now. Currently, I give 5% of every commission to charity water. So that's going to be kind of how I'm helping in the small starting phases. But as things grow and get larger, I plan on being a conduit itself for that money to travel through and pass through to the right places.
Good for you. See, so apparently with question 1, when I asked, what do you feel passionate about? I should have said the top 3 things you feel passionate about.
I got a lot of things, man.
That's my point, is to pull some more layers out there. All right.
Hey,
well, yep, go ahead.
It makes the interview get a lot better as we progress through it. I was holding it off because I
correct. Yes. Well,
I want to keep you want to hook.
You got to make me do my job. I understand. So we're now getting into the rapid fire 10 random questions. The way we start this off is I need essentially 10 numbers from you, 1 through 137. I do judge you on the way you pick these numbers. No, I'm joking. But it is interesting to see. I think it was my previous guest, Trey, his numbers, when there was an opportunity to do, like, for instance, number 3, he picked 33, and 1 was number 1. And there was a lot of these triple digits that were appearing. And then I think another one never went over 100, only 1. When I pushed them, like, hey, there's 37 more questions after 100. All right, 101. And then they were all under 100. So kind of curious to see. So what's your first number?
3.
Number 2?
72.
Number 3?
115.
Number 4?
107.
5?
99.
All right, next.
50.
All right. Keep going. Got 4 more.
125.
25. All right, 3 more.
130.
All right, 2 more.
72. All right, I did 72 already. 73. I don't know why 72 came back up.
72? I was going to say 72 is a number for you.
I guess. I don't know why.
And number 10.
18.
18. All right. Interesting. That and the number 3 are the only numbers you picked under 50. Everything else is over, and everything you picked 72 twice, technically, but then everything was over 99 as well, was in the hundreds. So again, that's what I mean. It's kind of interesting to see what people, and number 72, I don't know if that's in a lotto or something, or if that's you're too young to 1972 mean something to you. So,
I think it might
something
be
to think about, because that came up twice for you. So, all right. Question number 1 relates to question number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Do you prefer a phone call or a text?
Phone call.
And is that what you do?
Yes.
All right.
I call people. My girlfriend hates it. She's like, "Why do you always call me?" Because I don't want to text you. I'm sorry. It takes time. I'd rather just call you and have a conversation real quick instead of text out between 9 messages and then come to a conclusion when we can have a 2-minute conversation on the phone.
Understand that for sure. All right. So number 2, 72, which is interesting that it's number 2 and you said it twice. So again, just a little correlation there. But are you a book or an ebook kind of individual?
Book.
For the paper, hard
Yeah,
copy or soft cover?
I love hardcover books. I just feel like they stand the test of time. There's nothing that like quite is as good as, an old hardcover book. I don't know what it is. I have fond memories of like going to libraries and like, looking at 100-year-old books and like, some of them are tattered, but they still have the structure in place, which is, I think there's something, cool and beautiful about that, right? The structure holds over time.
So now that's the engineer part of you coming out there with the structure as the main.
Funny enough, I have engineer in my title, but I'm a computer scientist. So I don't know, right?
Yeah, the technology then, huh? And the digital.
Yeah.
You see that. So no ebook though. The Kindle feels like a page, when you touch it.
I don't have a Kindle. Maybe if I got one, I could be swayed. But I love the physical book and being able to read it. I mean, I want to have a freaking library, man. Like, that would be cool to have, right? And your dream house is a nice.
Have you started it?
Study.
Have you started it yet?
Yeah, I have a couple books above my desk right here.
All right. Yeah, good. It's one of those things. I'm right there with you. I have. I'm proud to say I filled up about 3 bookshelves. Like, let me rephrase that: a 3-shelf bookshelf, not 3 separate bookshelves, with books over the years that I want to show my kids and that help them grow. So, all right, number 3. Oh, I do want to make one more comment. In that Kindle, the one thing that turned me away from it was I used to be a big reader at night. And so I'd be reading and it's self-lit, so it makes it easier. But then you fall asleep and that thing, when it smacks you in the face, it's like a laptop hitting you. It's not the same as a book. So a couple of times with that and I was done. I was done with it.
Yeah, understandable.
All right, so your third question related to, you said number 115. That is, again, a question we actually discussed in a way. What is a cause that is worth dedicating your life to?
Providing clean drinking water to those who are still struggling with
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
Yeah,
that
is a cause.
Correct.
Shoot, I mean, another cause too. I guess I could elaborate. I mean, I recently figured out what the difference between tithing and giving was. So I've recently started tithing. So I think that's a great worthy cause.
Expand.
So tithing is actually just taking immediately 10% of your income and putting it towards a church or whatever organization you want to. Right. I mean, it's obviously directly related with the church. So, but they use the money, right, in ways that I feel is a great use of their money, and I'm helping them expand their digital church, the church specifically that I'm giving to.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so. Interesting. And so the tithing aspect, that, as you said, is it specific to religious organizations, the way it's set up, or can it go to any kind of charitable organization?
Yeah, technically tithing is specifically related to religious organizations, but I'm sure it can be kind of, translated to doing 10% of your income to a charitable organization too. That would just be charitable giving though, right? You're just doing 10%.
Is there tax implications then with the tithing aspect too? Does it give you...
Yeah, I think you can use it as a write-off.
Well, most charitable you can. I was just curious if because the specific under religious organization as well, if they was any tie to that. But interesting. All right, tithing. Learn something new every day. That's something new. So number 4, 107 was what you said. And this is a loaded question. What is the difference between a religion and a cult?
Wow.
Please, Chad, explain to us, Chad.
Well, if you're talking about ours specifically, there really is no, distinguishable difference. But shoot, I would say if you really do take a step back and you look with an unbiased lens at religion, specifically, it does look a lot like a cult, right? Because if you're looking at it with a scientific view as well, you're like, wow, these people are just praising or having so much faith in an untangible thing or person, right? Mm-hmm. And yeah, like that's the science in me that's coming out, right? I had a phase in my life where I questioned religion and faith very, very tough. And I mean, my parents were patient with me and kind through the whole situation, where I was just kind of like, I was exposed to so many different opinions and whatnot. So yeah, from an unbiased lens, it is pretty much the same thing. Whereas maybe a cult has a leader.
Yeah.
That's maybe the difference.
True. Well, I always like to look at it as one's accepted in mainstream.
Right. Yeah.
That's really, to your point of when you get under the lens and under the hood and everything, they're a lot of the same. And the one that we are very familiar with is it's just like a church or just like a religion. So what's the difference? All right. So again, I did not plan these questions. You chose that number.
I chose them. Yeah, I'm pretty good at picking.
Yes. All right. So number 5 is number 99, and that relates to what's the biggest meal that you've ever had?
Whoa. I'm really gonna have to think back for this one. I feel like, wow.
What's just a meal you remember, just like, oh my God, I ate so much of this and never wanted to do it again, or like.
Well,
did you ever do a food competition?
I've never done a food competition. It's kind of a toss up. I think it's either between Texas barbecue, or there's like been this one time where I ate a burrito that was like the size of my forearm. And it, like I ate the whole thing, and it probably weighed 3 pounds. Like,
was this in college?
Put it down. No, this was probably like right after college.
Okay.
But yeah, in college, I used to
just was curious if it was influenced by any activities that were happening.
Oh, I was just really hungry, man.
Nice. No, so a burrito, a giant burrito.
Yeah, it was like a massive like steak carne asada burrito, and I was just like, it was so good. It was just like smothered in like queso and all the enchilada sauce. I think it was an enchilada, right? But still, so good.
Nice.
But the other things that I don't have fond memories of is drinking mass gainer shakes when I was in my bulking phase of powerlifting. At the end of the day, it was like 2,000 extra calories, and it was awful.
Ooh, yes. That's not fun. It's always one of those things where people, you hear them having to bulk and eat all this food, and everyone's like, oh, I wish I could do that if they're dieting and everything. And it's like, until you experience that. Yeah. You don't. Yes, it's a limit. It doesn't matter what it is. Your body doesn't want it. Okay, yeah, I relate more to that one of the mass, than the burrito. Burrito was enjoyable. That is not enjoyable. Yeah. Right. All right. Halfway there. Number 6 is number 50. International vacation or a new TV? Which would you rather spend your money on?
What? How? International vacation. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, you would think so, but I'm sure at one point I'm going to get someone who says a new TV. But yeah, I'm right there.
So I guess it's
international vacation.
I'm biased, right? I the only international traveling I've done is I've been to Canada on a snowboard trip, and that is it. I've never been outside North America, so.
Okay.
Fly me to Greece, baby. Let's go.
Yes. Where'd you go in Canada? Where'd you go?
I was up in Panorama, and actually I have family too. I've done Canada multiple times now that I think about it, but I was in Panorama for that snowboarding trip. So pretty close to Banff. It's a gorgeous mountain range. Oh my goodness. The mountain itself is actually kind of a more low key one. Not many people know about it. And we had the whole resort to ourselves. We did it with like 3 other colleges and booked the whole resort out. It was awesome.
That sounds awesome. Yeah, I've been to Banff Sunshine Village, and I forget the other one up there. I haven't heard of that one. And yeah, gorgeous, just amazing up there. And yeah, now I want a burrito and snowboard. So, all right, number 7 is you chose number 125. Excuse me. That is, if you could change something in the world, what would it be?
Well,
you've already talked enough about water. Can't do that.
I was going to say, give everyone clean drinking water and clean water in general. But yeah, if I could change one thing in the world, I think I would make more people kind to one another.
Good answer. That would be one of those truly domino effects.
Yeah,
that would happen for sure. All right, number 8, you chose 130. Perfect for today because we are recording this on a Friday. What's your favorite thing to do on a Friday night? What you gonna do tonight, Chad?
I am going on a date with my girlfriend.
Nice. Is that your favorite thing to do? It's loaded.
Yeah,
loaded question there.
Yeah, I was gonna say it is great.
Viv, don't watch.
Spend time with her. Yeah, it's great to be able to spend time with her. I do enjoy the time that we spend on Friday nights. I mean, that's kind of when I'm winding down after. I mean, I have showings tonight too after work, so it'll be good to be able to spend some time with her and go and have a good dinner and celebrate the closing that we had on Monday.
Yes, nice. Yeah, congratulations again on that to both of you.
Thank you.
All right, so number 9, we went back to number 72.5, which turned into 73. And when you are sleeping, do you prefer a fan or no fan?
It depends on the situation, like the climate I'm in. I feel like, my fan's always running right now in my room.
Okay.
So I guess fan. I guess I like.
Do you need that white noise?
Yeah, it helps
to sleep.
Definitely helps calm my mind. My mind it runs
ever racing,
and I'm working on finding peace and being able to calm my mind more frequently and readily. So,
no, I understand that. Breath work, my man. That's one of the keys to opening to that. All right, the last question is number 10. You chose 18, which is, which would you prefer, a rich friend or a loyal friend?
Loyal friend.
All right. Makes sense. After everything you've discussed through these 20 questions, wanting to help and connect with people, I don't see the dollar signs as something you would be impressed with or want to be around, and there's no substance there.
Right. I've had my fair share of interactions with people who have their money, and you can really tell when they got it too quick, and they're very inauthentic with you. They don't care about making a meaningful connection. And I mean, I'll take a loyal friend, 100 times out of 100 over a rich friend because, we're going to be able to grow rich together.
Amen. Absolutely. Well, that is it. You survived the gauntlet, the 20 questions. A lot of these questions, I almost feel like came up for a reason. A purpose.
Yeah.
You kept pushing a couple different initiatives there by these questions. It was very interesting how that worked out. So we learned a lot about you, though, making connections, want to travel the world, and help people get clean water. And those 3 things alone right there can be done, for you in one grand action. just got to take that first step, right? That's another
Yep.
piece of advice you said. So,
Yep.
Chad, I appreciate the time. I can see here people where they can find you on Instagram at Chad Johnerson _Realtor, Facebook, Johnerson Realty, and then YouTube, just Chad Johnerson. Is there anything else you'd like to tell anyone out there? I'm going to have all the links in the description as well for them, but it's definitely something people check out Chad.
Yeah. Obviously, you can connect with me on any of those social media platforms. If you need an accountability partner or someone to honestly just be a friend, don't hesitate to reach out. That's literally what I want to be for people, is just someone to talk to or someone to confide in. So,
oh man, thank you very much for coming on, and this was a blast.